Let's get into the next lateral line. It's going to be the gluteus maximus, or the butt muscle. So with this muscle, the important thing about this is that it actually embeds into that iliotibial band as well. So we're going to try to address that tension along the outer side of the thigh by getting into that large muscle that we have on the back of our body here. So we're going to start with a foam roller on this one. My favorite way to work this is going to be to actually just come up and sit on the foam roller. And now we're going to lean back and place your hand behind you. Basically, if we're working on the left side, you're going to use your left hand to support yourself. And now the left leg, we can cross and bring over to the knee here. If this is too much pressure, you can always just bring this back down. And what we're doing is just kind of rolling our knees towards one side. From there, we're going to scan. Now the glute max will insert, if you find that outer hip bone, it's going to insert about 4 fingers down on the outer side there. So you're going to work from your crest of your hip bone here down to about here. And that'll go all the way back towards the sacrum or the tailbone. So again, we're leaning towards that side to roll our knees. If you start to feel like it's not enough pressure, you can increase tension into the muscle by crossing the leg over. Just make sure you're nice and supported here. Now we're going to scan nice and easy. Once we find our point, we're just going to hang out and breathe. Now if you want to increase tension, you can bring the knee up towards the opposite shoulder. We're going to breathe here. Again, I don't want you rolling a lot on here. Just scan, find your point, sink in, create a little internal tension, and you're good to go. You could even start to lift the toe a little bit here, and that'll even start to increase that pull a little bit. So this is really good for body awareness and just feeling how things are all connected from the hip down into the foot. So you can kind of play around with foot positioning and see how that changes the tension where you are in your hip here. Now again, foam roller is going to be the best place to start. Once you're good with that, you can move to the med ball. Again, you're going to have a little more freedom of movement on this one. And that's going to allow you to pinpoint some of these areas that are a lot harder to get with the foam roller. But starting off, this is going to be pretty tender for most people. So start light, find that point, hang out. Again, for me, I don't even need to cross at this point. It's pretty intense, so I'm just going to hang out on this point here. Now this one's a little bit down lower, kind of towards my tailbone. So the glute max has a very big insertion point where it'll go all the way back towards the sacrum and tailbone area and all the way to that IT band. So it spans the whole back side of the hip there. Good. That's starting to dissipate. Focus on the breath. Wonderful. And scan, let's see if I can find a higher point. A little more on the outer edge. Right there. Good. This one I'm going to actually cross and bring the knee up a little bit so I can access it better. Right there. Good. Pulling in, increasing that tension. Big breath. Good. Again. As you breathe, just feel how that allows your system to kind of melt into the ball or whatever tool you're working on. Again, if it's not releasing and it's sharp feeling, try to shift off the point a little bit and find a new spot. You could be on a structure, like there are nerves, there's arteries in the back of the hip here, pretty large ones. You have your sciatic nerve back here. So if you're on something that like zings down into your foot, just shift off of that a little bit until you just get that dull, achy, spreading sensation. Perfect. We'll come out of that one nice and easy. Now once you've gone through both of those and they feel good, there's not much discomfort, we can really start to dial in with the lacrosse ball. And we can, again, scan our area once we find it. bring that leg across. And for me, this is probably a little too intense for me right now. So I'm gonna, just back off of that one for right now. But again, you can get into those areas a little higher up, and we're gonna roll the knees towards that side. Use your hand and your elbow to support directly under the shoulder here. And once you find that area, you can, again, use the knee, use the foot to increase that internal tension. And yeah, that's a little intense for me, so I'm not going to keep digging on there, so I don't want to bruise the tissue. But that's kind of the direction I would go. Start with the foam roller, go to either your basketball or something a little bit larger, med ball would be a little more dense, and then go to the smaller ball when your body's ready. All right, be careful with this one. It can be pretty sore, and you might get to that point where you're like, oh man, that's a good hurt. I'm going to go another extra couple minutes because more is always better, right? Not so much. I'm probably going to be bruised from just going on that point for that little bit. So listen to your body, be careful with this one. Let's move on to the next area.